So many things. Even the film. I remember as a little boy, I'm watching the film Clash of the Titans, and it's the mother with the child, and that's why I sympathize so much with the free the nipple and what feminists doing and how they're being degraded. But I remember it's like the woman with the child in the ocean. Everyone's died, and it's just the mother with the little child, and the child's getting the mother's milk. I'll never forget it. I remember telling my mother. I said, "Mom, that's the baby with the milk." And I think my mother had an emotional moment. I'll never forget it. It's important to take your children to, what you think is not important is. It has an impact, and it's something they can always remember. I don't know how old I was at that time. I was young, very young. I think it's a 1980-81 film. There's so many morals in that movie. Just in that movie. Ironically, anybody in the far right or liberal can say, "Well, I'm that." They'll say they're the same character. They're Perseus. No, you're not. Man. Perseus is the moral character. But if you understand even what Perseus was in the film, Perseus tried to understand every person that he came in contact with. And what he's fighting against is what would destroy the people. Because remember when he's going into the gauntlet where all these brave people were dead. They died in vain. Yet he had to face that himself. Didn't even know. Look, these are all brave people. They died in vain. So when I look at Femin and you look at Gandhi, you look at Martin Luther King, you look at people that they've died in vain. They really did. They didn't reach their full potential, but their impact had an impact. But if Martin Luther King could look back, he would say, man, that was in vain at the time, but it ended up good. But there's still people that will demoralize you and disrespectful because that's what they do. And he would say, well, man, but it's what happens. You can only have a brave action, but you can die in vain. It cannot end up that way. You can die in vain, and I have to understand that too. You can die in vain at the moment, but it doesn't end up that you died in vain. So, as in Martin Luther King, it didn't end up that you died in vain, but at the moment, it sure does seem like it. It sure does seem like it for like 10 years. But then it changes. You don't know what that change is. All you can do is make the brave action. So as Perseus makes the brave action to say, well, I can just turn back because these guys died in vain. I can just turn back, but not doing. There's so many morals in that. I remember getting that as a little boy. So take your children to see films that have a moral, but not religious. Don't do it out of religion. Do it out of right and wrong. That's why I'm glad that my parents took me to see Gandhi and then took me to see Jesus Christ. It's like two opposing, and they're not opposing, they have the same, but they have different belief systems. But they're both people that were peaceful, that were men, that could easily take it to the alpha male syndrome. Understand that. Don't get pigeonholed in your religion. Because at the end of the day, your children will turn 18 years old, go to college, and they will have their own mind. You can't control them. Don't try to do that when they're little. Open them up to say, well, let's go see something on Martin Luther King. Let's go see something on Gandhi. Let's go see something on Jesus. Let's go see something on the Clash of the Titans. Let's go see something on, I don't know. What other film did I see with my family? I remember seeing The Star is Born with my mother, and it was Barbra Streisand. I mean, little things that are about triumph over adversity that you can understand even as a little, as a child. I'll never forget stuff like that. But if they don't have that in the home, they have to get it from school. They have to get it somewhere. They have to get it somewhere.